Are you a foreigner interested in selling on the US Amazon market? In this video, we go over 5 different areas that tend to cause hesitation for foreign Amazon sellers trying to sell on the US market. Find out they aren't as intimidating as they seem. Stay tuned. There are certain processes that are just more complicated to go through as a foreign Amazon seller on the US market. Some of those things might make you think twice about becoming a seller in the first place. The good news is that these steps tend not to be as complicated or difficult as you might think. Some of these are universal steps for all sellers. Now, if you're to the point where you have doubts about connecting financial accounts or if you're worried about customs, rest assured it's going to go smoothly. Thousands have done this before you, not to mention all the ones currently going through it. Don't allow large, legal-sounding words prevent you from being a part of one of the greatest arenas for entrepreneurs of our lifetime. Setting up your finances. This is more of a two-part step, but it's an important one nonetheless. While going through the process of setting up an Amazon seller account, it's required to provide 2 separate bank accounts. One is for the payments to Amazon, the other for getting funds deposited from Amazon. The first account is a foreign currency account in euros or US dollar from a local bank or one of your choosing. Now make sure this account can be connected to PayPal, and remember, put this account in your name and spell it exactly the same for all information you enter regarding Amazon, even if this is listed in your language's alphabet. Now before I mention PayPal, this isn't something that Amazon requires, but prioritize it. This is because PayPal is used to pay suppliers, prep centers, customs brokers. What makes it essential is PayPal's guarantee for each transaction. If something goes wrong, you're covered by PayPal. As your relationship strengthens with your supplier, try other methods that are less expensive, like wire transfers. Alternative options to PayPal are only a good route when you have established trust with your supplier. That takes time. Now, the second account has to be a US bank account. This is a common point that sellers get set back. Getting a regular US bank account is tough for a foreigner. The good news is that you don't have to. You can get a valid US account that serves as a second account. The best option for a foreigner is a Payoneer account. This is technically a US bank account and it's acceptable by Amazon standards. Getting a Payoneer account is straightforward, but consider the month it takes to receive your Payoneer card in the mail. So plan accordingly. You don't want to delay your first launch of your first product. Amazon tax interview. One step that must be completed by every seller account is a tax interview. Now, this seems like a serious matter. Many potential sellers get intimidated. However, the title is quite misleading and it's much simpler than one might think. First, it's not really an interview. It's a straightforward form. Interestingly enough, it tends to be easier for a foreigner than a US citizen. The point of the interview is to determine who you pay taxes to. An American has to enter their tax information. For a foreigner, the interview goes something like this. You put in your personal information, and then you get asked if you are a US citizen, to which you say, no. Then Amazon basically says, okay, have a nice day. Since you are a foreigner, you don't pay taxes to the US. Once Amazon has done its due diligence for the US government, the process is over. Even though it might sound like something complicated or legally demanding, it's actually quite simple and straightforward. The legal entity concern. You might think you need to start a company in your home country or in the US in order to run your Amazon FBA business. Although you can, it's not a necessity. Your name is more than enough for all legal purposes. You can register your seller account, you can put in an invoice for your products when it goes through customs. Many sellers wait until they begin hiring others or sell products in retail to set up companies. There are obviously many advantages to having a company. However, it can be postponed until you grow to a point where it seems necessary. Dealing with customs. Let's say that you want to start your Amazon business and you don't live in China or the US. It can be a hard concept to believe that you're going to have something sent from China only to enter the US and then arrive at an FBA warehouse, just like that. But can it really be that simple? Actually, yes. If your product is a simple consumer good and the value of your cargo is under $2,500, then you don't have to pay duties. The chances of your cargo being detained is very slim unless it requires a special permit or handling. Now, if it does get randomly selected, your delivery is only going to be marginally late. Logically, consider how many goods entered the US from China daily. It would be an understatement to say a lot. Now, customs officers clear cargoes quickly. Now, once you cross the 2,500 threshold, consider hiring a customs broker. They're basically insurance that gets to represent you if there's any issues at customs. They also make sure that your duties get paid and that your cargo gets where it's supposed to. They aren't very expensive and they're usually extremely helpful for people who know nothing about customs. Customs brokers are just one example of types of services that have adapted to the new revolution of sellers. They'll have all the information that you will need. Value-added tax and other taxes. The VAT, or value-added tax, is something only sellers from certain countries have to deal with. The logic behind the tax is it's not something a seller is paying for. It's a tax on Amazon for providing services for someone from your country, namely you. It's a fixed percentage that is added to any service that they provide to you. VAT is a percentage of all fees that you pay or the monthly membership. There is good news, there is bad news. The good news is that Amazon automatically handles everything. You're given a report at the end of the month telling you how much VAT is owed. The bad news, they charge you. It's a legal issue that Amazon has managed to solve the best way that they could. Now, as far as taxes go, do your research on your own nation's regulations. As a foreigner, you don't have to pay taxes to the US government, but you should seek out what kind of obligations that you have within your own country. It's not something that you have to do beforehand since you need to reach some level of profitability before you are taxable in most cases. Now, it is something that you should definitely look into eventually. All things related to selling on Amazon have a way of becoming simple and easily handled. The fact is, many are selling on Amazon and more join every day. Because of this, entire industries are developing alongside to make Amazon sellers efficient and satisfied. AMZScout is an example of this. It's a cycle that is evolutionizing and improving. The suppliers make money, the sellers make money, Amazon makes money, and people get better products. Now, with this in mind, don't be afraid to ask people about things that you don't know or understand. There are many situations in which you might think you've bitten off more than you can chew. Someone else has been there before. If you're concerned or have a question, you're going to be surprised at how much easier your life is as an Amazon seller by asking questions. Now, that's all for this video. Make sure you check out our blog, our Facebook, and the rest of our YouTube videos for more on selling on Amazon. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Until next time, good luck, sellers.